There's definitely a shift happening, and it's your time right now to say yes to who you really are. Now, I don't know about you, but if you've looked around any amount of time, you've seen where there's all kinds of different videos talking about a split, in, a timeline shift, things happening differently for some people than others.
These two timelines that are diverging, as they get further and further apart, it gets harder and harder to kind of jump between one to the other, or to kind of effectively relate to one to the other.
I can definitely feel that in the different people that I interact with. And it always seems like, okay, well, everybody's got their own journey. They've got theirs. I've got mine. So, but there is a disconnect. Sometimes I feel like it's going the right direction. And other times I'm like, what the is going on, right? But we're all in this boat together. We're all part of the same field.
We don't store memories in our brains. We don't store memories of our loved ones in the neurons in our brain. The neurons are the antenna that tune to a very specific place, a vibratory space in the field that scientists now know connects all things. 2012, the scientists at CERN, the superconducting supercollider in Geneva, Switzerland, they announced, yes, there is a field that underlies all existence. Esoterically, we had known that and talked about it, and everybody said, well, yeah, sure, there's a field, but the scientific community didn't acknowledge that in 2012. Information is stored in that field. Our neurons are the antenna that tune to very specific places in that field. DNA does the same thing. It is the act of you or me or anyone watching this, to learn something new, to become something more, to better ourselves, to become something more in the next moment than we were in the last moment. That drive, that compulsion that we feel is the trigger. It's the command for the neurons to find other neurons to create the antenna that tunes to the place in the field that holds what we're asking ourselves to master.
It's time to say yes to that shift. It's like, here's this opportunity. And then when you're intentional about what's coming, then you can actually just take advantage of it.
Stop settling in your life. This is time to take action, take back your power, take control over your life, and finally fucking manifest the life that you deserve to live. Not the life you want to live, the life that you truly deserve to live.
It's like knowing that a wave is coming. You can be prepared and ride the wave and have so much fun. You can go under the wave and have it not affect you at all. But if you actually totally ignore a wave that's coming, oftentimes it'll just tumble you to no end. So why not just take the energy that you've got and this whole shift that's happening and make it something that works for you instead of tumbling you? And it's like, well, why not just take advantage of the shift that's here and coming and use it intentionally to move yourself forward rather than getting tumbled this way and that? We are creators here to create. And
time for us to grow up spiritually. That's what's going on here. Make no mistake about it. We are growing up. We no longer need someone to have control over us. Self-sovereignty through detachment, through gnosis, through understanding the self. That's what this is about. We are a perfect, immortal, divine fractal of God.
Really, the question is, why continue on with the default programming that's always been there? Each of us has a small voice inside of us that's been whispering for a long time, and now's the time to listen to it and actually take action and move toward it. Because we are collectively understanding that we are much more than what they've told us. And because of that, we're able to do much more, to create much more, and to be much more.
And guess what? Within quantum mechanics, within the understanding of this expansive infinite universe, that ideal timeline, that ideal reality, that highest vibrational aspect of your life is already currently existing. All you need to do is to slide into that timeline.
Instead of expecting things to be normal, actually embrace what's being rediscovered on so many different levels. And then use it to move towards the things that are in your heart, body, and soul. Not just what's been programmed in your mind. I mean, we've all been programmed, right? I used to think that deprogramming from the Matrix, or whatever you want to call it, was going to come from doing things differently, from breaking pattern and making different choices. What I've come to realize is that's not enough. Instead, it comes from combining all of that with an intense inner programming from our own visualizations combined with turning off further programming via movies, music, and social media.
I want you to think about how movies work. I want you to think about how the news works. I want you to think about how hypnosis works. This is the basis of hypnosis. This is why I stopped listening to music 4 years ago. I don't listen to anything with lyrics. Because when you combine getting you into an elevated state, which is what music does, getting you into an alpha brainwave suggestible state, which is what music does, and then words in a hypnotic rhyming fashion, music is literally hypnosis. When you combine an elevated emotion with a suggestible state, which means you're either in alpha or theta brainwave state, where you're more suggestible, and then you even implant things that rhyme or that have some sort of cadence to them, they slip right in. So this is what we're filling the bulk of our lives with. We're constantly being hypnotized by other people, and we don't even understand that. And so we go about our day-to-day lives, and we're a walking basket of everyone else's beliefs, and we call that a personality.
It's being intentional about what's coming in and going out. It's then using frequency and vibration, the sounds of the universe, to aid in that process. Others have actually done this, and yet it takes a lot of focus, attention with intention to move past what's been unconsciously programmed into each of us. And yet, at the same time, that shift can happen in an instant. Meaning, when we dive in and really go for it, we can in fact be one shift away. And having that in mind while practicing visualizations and breaking pattern, doing things which are part of a different reality, all of it combined are necessary. By using our voices, we can call each other home to who we really are and start to make different choices. People are making choices from their true self, listening to that smaller voice, and despite the programming, going another direction.
Walked away from medicine and to step fully into my new career as a coach and an entrepreneur, risk and all. I had to release any need for external validation or praise or the status of being a doctor and just be me again. I knew that people would judge me for doing this weird thing, especially my colleagues still inside the medical profession, but I was over it. I needed to make my own choices, live a life authentic to me, and follow my own happiness.
All of us are connected to this field. So when we tap into our voices and start using them, then we are helping ourselves and each other at the same time. Our voices matter, yet it all starts with saying yes to the small voice inside each of us, and then allowing the worth of that to come through. To use that voice which has been dormant. Our voices on an individual and collective level are what's seeing humanity forward. It's through our creative expression that we liberate ourselves from the stranglehold of logic. I mean, logic is good, science is good, yet it's not here to do everything. And once we can see beyond what we can see, then we move with energies that have been there all along to aid us in our impossible dreams. It's creation energy, and we've been told that part of ourselves has no worth, when that imagination, that creation energy is the very thing which makes everything else follow along. It's creation energy. It's that energy that we've been told repeatedly over and over again, it's not worthwhile. What gets cut in school? Right? It's the arts. It's our creative expression. And we're told over and over again that has no worth in our society, or it has down on the lowest part of the value pole. Everything else is more valuable than that. Starving artists and so on and so forth. But in fact, so many people have pointed out that imagination is where everything starts. Imagination and creation energy are what bring us forward. And so it's through that creative energy that we can actually spark so much more. It's through practicing with creative energy, creating videos, creating through dance, art, whatever it might be. You're practicing with that creative energy, and then you're using that same frequency to create with your life moving forward as well. It all starts with your voice. Leaning into your voice that's been stifled for so long, and the power, the confidence that comes from using that voice. That liberates you to do so much more in the rest of your life. It all follows through that creation frequency. It's all connected together. We are creators, and the more we create, the more we create. The more we create on one level, the more we create on other levels. So it's about embracing our voices and creating freedom for ourselves and for each other at the same time. In this ongoing spiritual war, things have always been upside down. So what we've been told is often the opposite of truth. We've been told our creative side isn't worth anything. But in fact, that's the very side of us which unlocks so much more. It's using that energy while being guided by spirit, and it's unlocking the energy of creation with abundance. Practice using your creative energy by creating where you're inspired. Open up your voice to call in your tribe. Use the internet as it's a gift to open you and others up to what and who we really are. Then use it also to move others along the same or similar path. We are creative beings. Let's begin creating as we always have done. Let the logic take a back seat to the magical. They can work together. Yet the logical is a horrible master. It's there to do. Let that side of you do, and let the spiritual side, your creative side, guide that doing. I love this idea of be, do, have. You are being yourself. You're being your authentic self. And from that, you are creating your life forward. And you're using logic to do as the doing energy. But you need the being energy to know what you need to do. And then from that combination, you get to have what you've always wanted in life. And that's the magical element. Be, do, have, right? And there are all kinds of different names for it, all different ways of thinking about it. But at the end of the day, the thing of it is, we are at one of the best times in history to bring it all together. And for each of us to create and move forward from that creation so that we help ourselves and each other at the same time. I'm very, very much convinced that this is such an amazing time, and that the shift that's here is basically an invitation to all of us to move forward with our creative energy, our creative potential, our true selves that have been kind of silenced and hidden. So let's bring it out. Let's move forward with that. Let's help ourselves, help each other, and in the process, co-create our way forward. So if you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a like. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.